It is very, very icy. But it looks nice. Clouds. Okay, looks nice outside. Ladies and gents, it is another morning. But it's not just any morning. It is the 4th of January. And it's my birthday. I am 40 years old. 40. Yeah, it's insane. Really is. Yep, that is extremely, extremely cold. And to be honest with you, I always like it when you see ice and frost like this. Always do. Don't know why. But I got my sister, my niece, and my brother-in-law and all them coming around in like an hour, which is always fun. Yay! So I've started watching Predators on Paramount Plus. Hi, Charlie boy. Where's your paw? How's your baddie paw? And what it is, it's regarding Chris Hansen, To Catch a Predator from all those years ago. And this is absolutely insane. They're going back and they're showing things that weren't included in the original run. And like this guy by here, there's one in Texas, you had the guy who was playing the decoy, and he was like, you could give me 10 million bucks and I would never go back and refilm that episode. And as you just saw, the guy they spoke to on the phone for a number of times, and quite a while, he is discovered to be an assistant district attorney from a neighbouring county. Ooh. Which obviously, that is just insane. It really is. It's like, holy hell. Look, they travel to his house. What? No way. Raw footage from Dateline cameras November 5th, 2006. Holy hell, they went to his house. Yes, this is actually really insane. That some of the coppers now and they're like, yeah, someone saw us. But yeah, let's say it's now coming up to 11:30 Sunday. My sister and my niece have been and everything else. And yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty chill day. I don't really do much on my birthdays. Never do. Mostly because, well, it's literally right after Christmas and the New Year. And what I used to do is, we used to celebrate it on New Year's Eve. Obviously, go out with my mates and everything else. And there would be so many of us. It would always be a great night. But in the last, well, I'll say 2006, so the last 6 years, obviously a lot of things have changed. We've all gotten older. Kids are now involved, a lot of us. And it's like, wow, you know. But again, it's getting older. I'm now, like I say, I'm now 40 and I have the pains and the aches of a 90-year-old. So that's always fun. But I will tell you a story after about when my back went in 2016, so literally 10 years ago. And I was in hospital for a week. It's a funny story. But they're going into the district attorney's place. Look at them all. Look at them all. This is insane. It really is. But again, no, you fuck around, you find out. You know what? I really do think that my family must think I smell. So, obviously, I do like my aftershave and stuff, but I had a nice wool scarf and a hat. Okay, great. I'm never going to wear the hat though, but I will wear a scarf. But my sister then got me French Connection stuff. I was like, great, okay, you know, nice. It's like, I know I'm difficult to buy for. I know that. That's why if I want something, I buy it myself. But it's interesting because it's like, she got me all number 7 and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, Sam, I don't smell. You know, it's like, I wear nice stuff, you know. I got Davidoff, I got the Dior Sauvage aftershave and all this kind of stuff. And she's like, oh, no, I thought you could get some moisturiser for your face. I'm like, Sam, my skin is silky smooth. Well, it's not, but, you know. She's like, no, it could be nice. You need to pamper yourself now that you're old. Thanks, Sam. And it's like, yeah, it's like, she's like 42. She's 43 this year. And she's like, yeah, you're old now, so you need to do this. I'm like, thanks, great. Oh, I need to go to Steve with my barber, and I need to get to him. Need this done, need my haircut, and but I got the old streaks coming through. Oh my God, look at that. It's going even worse. Ah, well, natural highlights, that's what he calls it. I just call it going grey, going old. Yeah. And the back's not too good. I will say that today. But what we are doing is closing everyone out. And we're going to go on there. We're going to play a game, probably Arc Raiders. Because Mr. G is off and he's like, I want to buy Arc Raiders. I was like, okay, let's buy it. So we're going to go on that and see what it's like. I did play the closed beta, which was absolutely amazing. So I want to know how he's going to get on with it. Well, we didn't actually play the game. I actually became very productive, and I have made 4 videos which are going to be going out now in the next 3 weeks on the gaming and the horror channel, and for some unknown reason I really have my shit together today, and I don't think I'm supposed to be doing that. But let's have a little look-see outside. Oh, it's not bad actually, not bad. It's still nice and sunny, which is actually a really nice thing to do. But yeah, so let's close these though. So yeah, we've been extremely productive, which is kind of interesting, because I always said to myself that I would have a Sunday off no matter what. But no, I had all these things coming through to me. I was like, right, you know what? Let's get these done, because now over the next couple of weeks, I'm really got to focus on them and get like the gaming channel or get some stuff done with the vlogs. So I'm really happy about that. But time's now. It's 4:15. And we've been doing this since just, I think it was like 1:30, the last clip it was, where I said I'm going to do arc raiders. But yeah, it's been productive. So now we're going to do a little bit of story time, folks. So, like I was saying, 10 years ago is 2016 at the very start, so it was January. I broke my back on New Year's Eve. And again, I was just pulled down a flight of stairs. That was it. No one's fault. It was an accident. And I went down, because my mate grabbed me, he pulled me down. And he did his leg in, I did my back and everything else. And going from there, because obviously when you're drunk, you don't really feel a lot of shit. And I went to work, carried on a couple of days. And I believe it was a day before? It was either a day before or a day after my birthday. That's what it was. So it was either the 3rd of January or the 5th of January. I can't remember which one. And I was in work, and I was at the desk, just like this, working and everything else. And all of a sudden, I just went like this. Almost like, like when you fold up. And I did that. My friend, Christy, she was next to me. She just looked at me, and she was like, "What you doing, you weirdo?" And I'm like, "I can't move." And what it was, my back just completely compressed. And so I was there like that, and I was like, right, okay, what am I going to do? And Christy, man, absolutely livid a bit. And she was like, right, you got to get to the hospital, because we actually worked by the Heath Hospital in Cardiff, literally behind the hospital, so I was good. Went over there, and like I say, my dad came in and everything else, and it turned out I broke 2 bones in my lower back. That's what it was. So I was in hospital for a week, and the first day I was in there, so the first day we were in A&E, and we were in there, and the guy, one of the doctors and everything else, and this is the funny part, one of them, he made me bleed, because obviously all this was going on, and nerve damage and all this kind of stuff, and he had a blunt needle, and he was just jabbing me in my lower back, in my in my bum cheeks, and the top of my thighs, and I was like, I can't feel anything. I'm like, I can't feel nothing, because I couldn't. And my dad was there, and he was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, why?" He goes, "He's just drawn blood." That's so hard. He basically stabbed me to see if I could feel it, and I couldn't. And then we were like, right, okay. It was just after my birthday, because I remember now what the doctor said. And so it was like, right, okay, we're going to get you in, MRI, all the scans and all this kind of stuff. So we got a ward, got a bed and everything else. And there was this doctor, who was actually a doctor at the hospital. And he was over the other side, and he told the nurses, "I've broken my hip, I need x-ray, I need this, I need this, I need this." And the nurses there were like, "Oh, no, you don't, you're fine. He's like, "No, I've broken my back." And the guy, he's one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life. Probably because he was a bit high on the older drugs, same as me. But we were there, and the doctors came around, and it was the next day, because my sister came in to see me, and Sam was sat by there, and the doctor goes, "Oh yeah, people's backs, they do start to go when they get into their 30s. And he goes, "How old are you?" And I looked at him, and my sister Sam, she just started laughing. She went, "He's just turned 30, the 4th of January. And he was like, oh, well, this isn't good. And I was like, no shit. Literally, I was just looking at it like, no shit, mate. I've broken my back. This is what the issue is. And he's like, right, okay, we'll get all you sorted and all of this. But it was just the fact that he said, oh yes, when people get over the age of 30, you know, things do start to happen. And it was just like, I've literally just turned 30. Like literally like 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago. And he was like, oh, this is the... And I was like, well, yeah, of course. But I've always had back issues. Because in 2009 is when I had my first major issue with my back. And what it was, as you say, a lot of people know, I used to be a butcher as well, before I worked for Tesco Social Media. And me and my mate, we were cleaning the front block. And this day and age, they have like the plastic work counters and stuff. But back then, we actually had a proper, really thick and solid wooden butcher block. And these things weigh a ton. You literally need at least 2 people just to move it properly. So we were there now and we were cleaning underneath it, me and my mate were. And the sad thing is, on the floor was a bit of blood. It was a blood bag, a little one, which obviously, you know, like the clot sort of things you get on meat. And he was on the floor. We didn't see it. He slipped in it. He went down. The block landed on his thumb. Oh, still see it now. And with me, because I was holding one end, I literally went right down. You know, literally. And that was my first time I had something really, really bad done to my back due to something like that. And I was like, oh no. You know, and like, oh no, you know, something terribly wrong. And the funniest thing about that incident is that night, I was actually going to the airport to pick up my mum, my dad, and my sister because they were just coming home from a 3-week holiday in Cyprus. So there's me now. I was like, I can't drive. I was like, I can't do anything. I was like, how the hell am I meant to get home, for one, and get up the airport? So what I did, I drove home, and I was literally, I guess, with the steering wheel, like, so close, just to not be like, oh, okay, do not move. I should not have drove. But I got to at the time, my grandmother, who, anyway, yeah, I went to her, she gave me some painkillers and everything else, and I was like, right. And this was like 4 hours before my mum and dad and sister were meant to fly into Cardiff Airport. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go up there now and wait. So I did, which was actually really one of the funniest things going. So where I parked it was just on the outskirts of where you drive into it. Because if you go in, you either got to pay or you can drop off, pick up and go. So I just stayed on the outside. And my mum and dad obviously with their phones and everything else. So I knew their phone was off, but I texted them. And I was like, I'm going to be down this end. You have to walk to me. I can't move. So I was literally in the passenger seat like this for like 3 hours. Just sat there and I couldn't move. And my dad turned up then, me and my sister and my mum. And my dad's looked at me. He's like, what's wrong? My mum was like a bit, obviously she's always concerned about it, my mum is. But my sister, she couldn't stop laughing. She's like, oh, what's wrong with you then? And I'm like, wow, you know, for someone who's 3 years older than me, that's how you're acting, you know, literally like a little kid. Like, oh, look at you, you're hurt. And it was. And then I went to the doctor's then the following morning. And that is when we found out that I actually got a curvature of the spine. And that's what caused one of the major incidents. Which is kind of funny thinking about it now is all the shit that I've done to my body is absolutely ludicrous. Like I say, I've broken my back twice. That's that. I got the curvature of the spine, which again, we wouldn't have found out unless I didn't hurt myself in work. Because before then, it was literally, if I got a cold, I'll get over it. I never went to the doctor. And because the last time before I did my back in 2009, it was September 2009, I'll always remember that date. But before then, the last time I went to the doctor was in 1998. I had to have a tooth out in the Heath Hospital, and that was it. 10 years, basically, well, 11 years, without going to the doctor, because I was like, no, I'll just get over it. But then, when that happened, that key moment, 2009, September, my back went. Since then, it's just been back and forth like a yo-yo. But yeah, I thought I'd just say that, because it's a really funny story. But guys, we are going to leave it by here. So thank you ever so much for watching and listening to this little comedy rant. But yes, we are now at the grand old age of 40. And it sucks and it doesn't, you know, because again, like I said, I was speaking to my dad and I was like, I'm 40. He's like, yeah, he goes, you're probably 40 on you. You probably guess what your age is, but you probably think you're still 20. I was like, yeah. Which I do, which is absolutely crazy. Because thinking of it, things like that, I'm like, oh yeah, you know, we used to go out, you know, New Year's Eve, have house parties, we used to do all this kind of stuff. And that was literally like 10, 20 years ago. It's absolutely mind-blowing how fast this has gone. Now, I would probably say the last 15 years. The last 15 years have flown by, and it's absolutely nuts. But guys, thank you ever so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow with a brand new vlog. Bye-bye. I don't know why I did that. That's weird. But yeah, bye-bye, guys.